Hey, I just wanted to give a little clarification on what are the hardest topics in trigonometry. And I get more questions on this than any other single, couple of units and then in any other class I teach. Khan usually does a really good job of explaining things, but for whatever reason, these skills it doesn't do terribly good. And I've just tutored countless people over the years on it and have gotten a method that has, if Khan's not working for you on this, first off, you're not alone. And second, try this method because it really has helped students that have come to office hours and have gotten tutoring from me. Um, and I'm not going to explain how to do a particular problem here, but I want to show you this template that I use. We're always either starting with a sinusoidal graph and then trying to get the equation, right? Or we're going the opposite way and getting we know the equation and we're trying to get the graph of the equation. And to go between the two of them, you need to know like 5 things. You need to know the equation form, the amplitude, the midline, the phase shift, and the period. Now, amplitude and midline in particular, a lot of people, Khan does a pretty good job on that. It's when we get into phase shift and period, and especially equation form, that people start having trouble. So I recommend when you're doing these problems that you at least start with using my template. And you can go into the description of the video and print out. There'll be a link to this. And you can print out this page so that you can kind of have this to orient you as you're trying to work through these type of problems. Like I said, Khan explains all of these things. I don't think it explains it or doesn't use the language of equation form at all. So I've also got another little PDF that explains what I'm talking about. So it's really important to know for sine and cosine what the basic equation forms look like. So if you've got a positive sine function, the normal period looks like this, where it starts on its midline, goes up to its peak, goes back down to its midline, its minimum, and comes back to the middle. Okay. Now, if you've got negative sine, right, it still starts on its midline, but instead of going up to its maximum like it does in this one, it goes down to its minimum first, right? Midline back up to its maximum, and then back to midline. Okay. So you should always be able to think, if you, whether you have the equation or whether you have the graph, which equation form am I working with, right? And this is really simple in that, a sinusoidal graph goes on forever and ever. This is just looking at one single period of it, but it'll really help you be able to write the equations or do the graphs. So cosine, the normal cosine starts on its maximum, right? Goes down to its midline, dips to its minimum, back up to midline, back up to maximum. It looks like a U, right? Negative cosine just gets this, it's this graph flipped over. Excuse me. It's this graph flipped over and it looks like kind of a cursive N. So make sure you print these to the template and the equation forms out so that you can really orient. Now, as a follow-up to this video, I'm going to start going through problems and showing you how to apply these templates to it. And it should really help, if you work through a couple of problems, it should really help orient you. So hope that helps.